happens with the GSEs impact future innovation, if at all?
Well, I think one thing that we have to recognize is the impact that GSEs have had on the industry in the sense of building standards and building documentation standards. And I think a lot of the work that's gone on that will go forward is testament to that. Were there problems there? Yeah, I think everybody, I mean, you know, a lot of the meltdown, there's a lot of different people that were at fault. But in reality, we do need a strong secondary market, and who's going to replace that is I'm not sure. And they're talking 5 to 7 years. Will it change? You know, with all the new regulations and so on. So I think at this point, it's really kind of a question mark of what really will happen in the secondary market. Who's going to support those loans?
You know, Fannie and Freddie, blessing and a curse. Amazing companies really that have kept us going, have ridden the tide with us since the 1930s for Fannie Mae. MISMO wouldn't have been adopted as it is today without Fannie and Freddie. So it's sort of a balancing act that you walk. E-mortgages, you need companies that are able to have the strength to be able to propose a standard and lead. And that's what they helped do with MISMO over the last decade. I don't know, I can't comment, and I'm not smart enough to comment on unwinding the GSEs or how long or if or when. There's a bunch of discussion going on about that right now. I do know that they're the bedrock of what still is going on right now in terms of home lending. We're trying to sell our house in Denver right now, and likely the person that's going to buy that house will be somebody who can qualify for a Fannie or a Freddie loan. So they're very, very important to our industry. They've been very, very important to the standards in our industry, and I just wanted to add that.
To piggyback a little bit on what Gabe said, we always have to worry about when in having discussions in the room with the two 800-pound gorillas. Well, what's the room like without the two 800-pound gorillas? There is a lot of synergy that is built because of the gravitational force that they have. And the only solution that I see to that is, those of you who saw the movie Perfect Mind, Beautiful Mind, in the Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium is what happens when organizations recognize that it's in their common interest to cooperate, even though they compete. And there will necessarily have to be, just as there was a form of Nash equilibrium that evolved between Freddie and Fannie, they used to compete on data standards. Now, they came to understand that they competed in some of it completely different arena. And it will be the folks in this room who come together in a Nash equilibrium way to help make sure that the industry does not turn into a Tower of Babel.
So, to that I agree. Standards have been created, etc. I really feel that, you know, the meltdown that started in 2008 that has, you know, affected, I would probably guess, every single person in this room, whether it's directly or through a family member that's lost a job or, you know, been laid off or, you know, walked away from their home. It's been a financial crisis across the whole United States. And, you know, I know I've been on my, you know, e-mortgage platform, but if many of those mortgages had been originated electronically and the paperwork had not been lost, and the foreclosures that are going on today, I think it's safe to say that in an electronic process, there's better regulation from this front end of it with the disclosures, and the back end of it with the closings and the e-vaulting of that. And when you have to show up in front of a judge and prove the paperwork is electronic, but you know what, it's there. So I think the industry needs to understand that, you know, it is a better way, a more efficient way, and a less costly way, and it's a scary way, which, you know, a lot of us in this room have not embraced yet.